After literally decades of begging for Jason and Sonny to finally find some peace, to finally put their families first, the writers give us exactly what we want, only to rip it away in the most cruel, outrageous way imaginable. Are you kidding me right now? A bomb? A literal bomb at a retirement party? I have been watching this show through every mob war, every shootout, every kidnapping, and the exact second these men decide to walk away and be fathers, the writers decide to blow them all to Kingdom Come. Am I the only one losing my mind over this? This is a complete disrespect to the fans who have invested their lives into these characters. Let us just break down this absolute catastrophe because my blood pressure is completely through the roof right now. Carly, our fiercely loyal, ever hopeful Carly, decides to throw a beautiful, intimate farewell party at Sonny's house. A party to celebrate Jason and Sonny officially leaving the Mafia. Do you know how monumental that is? For 30 years, we have watched Sonny Corinthos choose his territory over his wives, and Jason Morgan choose the organization over his own flesh and blood. Now, Jason is finally stepping up for Dan. He made the ultimate sacrifice to walk away from the violence to protect his son. And Sonny, miraculously, is joining him in this retirement. Carly wanted to mark this historic moment. She wanted to look around a room and finally feel safe. She wanted to give Michael, Jocelyn, Dante, and Danny a moment to breathe. A moment to realize that the nightmare of the mob is finally over. It was supposed to be a beautiful new beginning, but no, the writers just could not let us have one single moment of joy. Think about the sheer emotional weight of this gathering. Michael has spent his entire adult life trying to reconcile his love for his father with his absolute hatred for the mob. He was shot in the head as a child because of this lifestyle. Dante, a literal police officer, has had to arrest his own family members and compromise his morals time and time again just to keep the peace. Jocelyn has been traumatized by the violence that follows Sonny like a dark, inescapable shadow. And Danny. Sweet Danny, who just got his father back from the WSB nightmare, finally has the promise of a present, loving dad. Carly organizing this at Sonny's house was supposed to be the ultimate symbol of healing and moving forward. The Corinthos Mansion, once the command center for every mob hit and territory war, was going to be transformed into a normal, safe family home. I was sitting here, tears in my eyes, actually believing that these writers were giving us a mature, profound evolution for these legacy characters. It was a heart-wrenching betrayal of our trust to turn this beautiful family milestone into a literal death trap. And how does it all go wrong? Because some unnamed, cowardly old enemy from Sonny's past gets a leaked tip about the party. Are you serious? After all the security Sonny has had for decades, after all the guards and the perimeter checks, suddenly his house is as easy to break into as a public park? This phantom enemy sneaks into the house before the guests even arrive and plants a massive bomb right under their noses. A bomb, it is the oldest, cheapest trick in the soap opera playbook, and it is outrageous writing. Instead of a face-to-face confrontation, instead of a meaningful dialogue about the consequences of their past, this coward decides to just blow up the entire family. It completely ruins the character arcs we have been building towards for months. Jason and Sonny are finally trying to do the right thing, and their reward is having their entire family placed on a ticking time bomb. Guys, I cannot handle the suspense. Imagine the scene. Carly is pouring champagne, laughing with Jason. Sonny is actually smiling, maybe hugging Michael, or giving Danny a pat on the back. Dante is finally relaxing, not having to look over his shoulder or worry about covering up another one of Sonny's crime. They are toasting to the future, to peace, to a life without bullets flying through the windows. And all the while, right beneath their feet, a bomb is ticking down to zero. Tick, tick, tick. It is psychological torture for us fans. We are forced to watch these beloved characters, whom we have loved for decades, completely oblivious to the fact that they are standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy. The sheer dramatic irony is enough to make me want to throw my television out the window! Why do they do this to us? Why can't they just let them be happy for 5 minutes? I know what the writers are trying to say. Oh, I see right through their little thematic game. They are trying to push this narrative that the mob never lets you go. They want to prove that you cannot just wash the blood off your hands, throw a party, and pretend the last 30 years of violence never happened. And yes, from a storytelling perspective, I get that actions have consequences. But come on, we have suffered enough. Jason lost years of his life. He lost his connection with his kids. He was held captive by the WSB. Sonny has lost children. He has lost wives. He has lost his mind. Haven't they paid the price? To have this enemy strike at the exact moment they choose peace is just cruel. It is a complete mess. It sends the message that trying to change is pointless, that redemption is absolutely impossible. What kind of message is that for the viewers who have rooted for their salvation for over a quarter of a century? And let us talk about the potential collateral damage here. We aren't just talking about Sonny and Jason taking a bullet. If that bomb goes off, we are talking about wiping out the entire next generation of Port Charles. Michael, Jocelyn, Danny, Dante, maybe even little Wiley or Donna, if they are playing upstairs. The writers are playing God with half the cast. If they actually kill off any of these kids just for shock value, I swear I am organizing a boycott. We cannot lose Danny right after he finally gets Jason back. We cannot watch Carly lose another child after everything she has been through with Morgan. Do the writers not remember that Morgan died in a car bomb explosion? The trauma would be insurmountable. It would destroy the very fabric of the show. I am terrified, absolutely terrified, that they're going to use this explosion to write off a major character, and I am not emotionally prepared for it. Let us take a moment to look at Jason Morgan. Jason just made the hardest decision of his entire life. He looked at Sonny, the man he has pledged his life to, the man he has killed for, bled for, and gone to prison for, and he said, "No more. I choose my son." That was a monumental breakthrough. It was the character growth we have been begging for since the 1990s. He finally prioritized Danny over the Corinthos cartel. And Sonny, surprisingly, gave him a pass because Jason protected Rocco. That mutual respect, that shared realization that their children are more important than the territory, was beautiful. Carly organizing this party was the perfect bow on top of this storyline. She wanted to celebrate the men they were becoming, not the men they used to be. And now, because of this outrageous writing, Jason's reward for choosing his son is potentially watching his son get blown to pieces in Sonny's living room. It is sickening. And what about Sonny? Sonny Corinthos stepping down from the mob? That is a seismic shift in the General Hospital universe. The man who has controlled the docks, the coffee imports, the entire criminal underworld of the eastern seaboard is hanging up his tailored suits for a peaceful retirement. I was shocked he actually agreed to it, but it made sense. After the nightmare with Jen Sidwell, after almost losing everything, Sonny finally woke up. He realized that the power isn't worth the blood. This farewell party was his chance to look his children in the eye, Michael, Dante, Christina, all of them, and say, "I am finally putting you first." But this bomb, this cowardly attack, it is going to drag him right back in, isn't it? If anyone gets hurt, Sonny is going to go on a rampage that makes his past wars look like a playground scuffle. The writers are just using this tragedy as a cheap catalyst to force Sonny back into the mob boss chair. It is so predictable and so infuriating. My heart absolutely aches for Carly in all of this. Carly, who has survived so much heartbreak, so much loss, she is the one who put this all together. She is the one who bought the champagne, ordered the catering, and smiled as she welcomed everyone into the house. She wanted to create a safe haven. She wanted to look at Jason and Sonny and feel proud of the men they have finally become. Can you imagine the guilt she is going to feel if that bomb goes off? She will blame herself for gathering everyone in one single place. She will think she served her own family up on a silver platter to Sonny's enemy. The psychological torment this will inflict on Carly is beyond cruel. We have watched her grieve enough. We have watched her cry over graves enough. We do not need another storyline where Carly is weeping in the hospital chapel while her family is in the ICU. I am so tired of this misery porn. And seriously, can we talk about the logistics for a second? Where is Brick? Where is Max? Where is Milo? Where is the legendary Corinthos security detail that supposedly guards that property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? You are telling me that on the day Sonny Corinthos announces his retirement, nobody thought to sweep the house for explosives? A random enemy just waltzes through the front door, plants a high-grade explosive device under the floorboards, and leaves without setting off a single alarm? It is an absolute insult to our intelligence. These are seasoned mobsters who have survived decades of assassination attempts, and they are brought down by a plot hole the size of a Mack truck. It is lazy. It is completely lazy, outrageous writing, and it shows a blatant disrespect to the fans who actually pay attention to the details. Think about the history here, guys. Sonny lost his wife Lily to a car bomb back in the day. Carly lost her son Morgan to a car bomb. Bombs are the ultimate trigger for this family. To place one in the very living room where they are celebrating their freedom from this exact type of violence is a sick, twisted joke by the writers. They are dangling the carrot of a happy ending right in front of our faces, only to snatch it away and beat us over the head with it. I wanted to see Jason and Danny go to baseball games. I wanted to see Sonny actually enjoy being a grandfather without looking over his shoulder. I wanted Dante to finally be able to sit at a Sunday dinner without wondering if he was going to have to arrest his father before dessert. Was that too much to ask? Apparently, it was. I'm just so frustrated because the potential for this storyline was incredible. A post-mob Sonny and Jason trying to navigate normal life. The comedic and dramatic possibilities were endless. Imagine Jason trying to attend a PTA meeting for Danny, or Sonny trying to figure out civilian life. It would have been a brilliant new chapter for these characters. But no, the writers panic when there isn't a shootout every 5 episodes. They do not trust their own characters to carry a storyline without explosions and gunfire. So they resort to this cheap, explosive gimmick to reset the status quo. It is a massive step backward for everyone involved, and it makes all the emotional growth we have witnessed over the last few months feel completely pointless. As we gear up for this episode, I am literally sick to my stomach. I do not know how I am going to watch it. The image of them all raising their glasses, smiling, believing they have finally won, while that timer ticks down in the background, it is going to haunt my nightmares. Will Jason's instincts kick in at the last second? Will Dante notice a strange wire or hear a ticking sound? Or will the screen just go white with a deafening boom, leaving us with a Friday cliffhanger that ruins our entire weekend? I cannot take the stress. If they kill Danny, I am done. If they kill Jocelyn, I am done. If they use this to completely reset Jason and Sonny's progress and drag them back into the mob for another 20 years, I am absolutely done. I am at my breaking point with this show, guys. I really am. I need a glass of wine and a dark room to recover from just thinking about this absolute disaster